It's Wednesday night, you know what that means. We had another episode of AEW Dynamite. We are... Nope, still can't do it right. Top Rope Tokes. I'm just saying. That guy over there.
Yeah, range of motions, baby.
I think, yeah, that would just be so much easier for me.
Yeah.
It's just never remember the direction anymore. And we are here to talk wrestling. And you know what? You're here probably because you like wrestling too. So we like wrestling. You like wrestling. Let's talk wrestling. Join the Discord. Also like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a good episode of Dynamite. It went quick. It was fun. And we are missing a lot of stars still.
This Dynamite, it was hype.
Mm-hmm.
And next Dynamite's gonna be hyper.
I mean, it's the match that started off. I don't necessarily need to jump into it right away. But it says a lot when I saw Sammy Guevara on my screen and I didn't hate him nearly as much.
Yeah. That was a good match, that first match there. They started off Dynamite with Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
And I think part of the bonus was just the fact that since he came out to the ring by himself, we didn't get the annoying, like, over-the-top makeout session.
Yeah. Yeah, his entrance was way better. Moxley still had a 7-minute entrance, so there's that.
And a man that we all love to see right now completely cut off his entrance, even though I love his theme song. MJF, Let It Play. I love that song. And now that I have my own version that I've been listening to, like I sing to it even though there's no actual words. Bye, cat. If anyone just saw like a tail or anything fly off me. I am not Gohan. I do not have a tail that disappears. Or no, Goku.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if that camera could see it, but I could see the cat disappear.
Yeah.
Definitely saw it.
Honestly, I'm sitting there looking back and I'm trying to think if there was a single part of this show that I didn't care about, because usually there's always some part where I'm like, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I don't really... Oh, sorry, there was one thing. A video package where Mark Sterling talked.
Yeah.
And I don't...
But if that's the only thing that you didn't like about the show, then obviously it's a good show. And
the thing is, it's not that I hate Sterling. It's just that he just happens to be always in the lowest part of the show, partnered with people that nobody really cares about. Yep. So it's hard to care.
Yep.
It
sure is.
Did you have any, like, down parts of the show that you're like,
I'm looking through my notes right now, but...
Because, I mean, we didn't have a Mox promo.
Yeah.
There was no Mox promo. There was no House of Black vignette, for more obvious reasons. So there wasn't any of two of the usual things that were like,
Yeah. But yeah, I don't really have a segment that I could say. I just was like, And then Mark Sterling was on screen for such a short amount of time that I don't mind.
Mm-hmm. It's like grasping for straws, because it wasn't a long thing. It wasn't like, hey, Mox, your promo was good at like 1 minute and 30 seconds. It didn't need to go another 5 minutes. Oh crap.
Yeah. But no, yeah, it was really quick though. Mm-hmm. Maybe a minute.
Honestly, it's like they had all that backstage stuff happen, and they've been, trying to throw the best that they can do on a week-to-week basis, when all of a sudden, hey, there's 5 of our top people that we can't put on TV. Well, Hangman was on TV. He was involved only by name. He wasn't actually involved, so he's around.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing a story with him is probably still put on hold because everything else.
Yeah, you don't want to take any of them chances right now.
Well, not only that, but he kind of had the story of will he get back with the Elite kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Beforehand. Well, if the Elite's off TV for who knows how long, what's your next step?
True, because if they're not going to be gone too long, you don't want to get him into anything big.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
You know what?
I'd say if it's like more than 6 months, then just go ahead and let him do some stuff.
It definitely seems right now, though, that it's all about when that investigation ends. So it's kind of hard to know how long it's going to be.
Yeah.
But before we hop into the actual show, I want to take 1 minute because I just remembered this because we were just talking about the brawl out situation. Dude who was sitting in like the first, second, or third row ringside that had the sign that said CM Punk owns the Bucks. Fuck off.
I thought that guy was a legend, so hey, different takes for different people.
I didn't like it just because
different tokes for different folks, you know. Different tokes.
When everything came out against Punk, my side became pretty easily. I'm like, sure, we don't know the story about the fight and everything else yet, but we do know what he went in front of everybody and fucking said on his own.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still like, oh, fuck that dude. But then we get to the end of the show and you get that face off in the ring and it's like person, and my face is that dude's entire sign. It was right there for everyone to see. It's like, God damn it. This is going to be all over the internet tomorrow.
Yeah, it is. That guy's a legend, I'm telling you.
Oh, he'll be
legend
around.
In the making.
His picture's going to be around forever.
Because, oh man. It was like the perfect background to the fight.
And considering this whole tournament is because of what happened,
yeah,
makes sense. I still hate it, but yeah, kudos for that guy for making a sign that everybody's gonna fucking remember. But anyway, considering how the show ended, what we just referenced, one of those two people standing in the ring at the end of the night was in the opening match of the night because we started off with one of the two tournament matches with Moxley versus Sammy. So if you are like some people who maybe have been pulling up the show a minute, 2 minutes after 8 o'clock, you were fine because Mox was still on his way to the ring.
Yeah, I got there about 3 minutes late. Mox still wasn't even in the ring yet.
Sammy, as alluded to earlier, he came out by himself, which unfortunately, right as it happened, I said to you, I'm like, this doesn't mean he's going to be alone. It means we're definitely getting something that happens later on in this match.
In true Sammy fashion. True JAS fashion.
Mm-hmm. Specifically, you know how we talked about JS kind of had been splitting up for a while?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you got Cool Hand and Eddie Magic kind of off doing everything on their own. You got Sammy running with Anna JS and Ty, although I will say that promo that I told you about, it was those threes and Jericho, so there is still a loose affiliation there. Hager hasn't been around much since... Have we seen Hager since he wrestled Danielson? Before All Out?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen him. No.
And then Garcia has his own damn story about it also. But yeah.
Garcia is about to get pushed.
Mm-hmm.
To the moon.
I don't really have a ton on this match, but I will say we talked about it as it happened. There was that Mox like bulldog spiking of Sammy on the ring apron.
Yeah.
Planted his head. Sammy just looked. I don't even know how to describe his look. He looked like he was staring, but also in a far off land.
Yeah. He he looked concussed.
Mm-hmm.
To say the least. He looked very concussed.
He was doing that thing kind of like where his body was just like super stiff and he wasn't moving while laying on the ground. And
it was pretty good.
Yeah. It was like, my notes literally says Sammy's head on the apron and either the best selling ever or Sammy was actually messed up. Because I was like, this doesn't look normal. And that's either a really bad thing or a really good thing.
Yeah. Nastiest thing in this match, actually, was when Sammy had Mox on the outside on the steps.
Mm-hmm.
And he stomped his head into the stairs. All right, Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I like it. That was nasty.
That was the first thing I thought about taking notes on. I was like, nope, just left my phone down. I was like, all right. There's a couple. It makes sense because he's in the BCC, but we're not used to saying Moxley countered because he's not the most technical person.
Mm-hmm.
He brings more of the brawling side to the BCC, but he countered a couple GTHs, one into a bulldog choke, and then we'll get to the other one at the end because it was after an avalanche German suplex to Sammy, Anna J, and Ty. Sorry, I'm still not going to write Anna JAS every single time. It's not happening. They come out, Anna distracts her, Ty hits a low blow, Moxley kicks out. Yeah. Eventually ends with Sammy going for another GTH, but instead of hitting the knee, Mox lands on his feet and hits a Death Rider for the win.
Yeah, Death Rider for the win.
It was funny on commentary after the low blow. They start to talk to Regal about strategy about when you get hit with a low blow or what you can do. I'm like, wait, what the hell did I miss? Because unfortunately, sometimes with Regal on commentary and the other wrestlers, is it just me or do they kind of get lower talking as they just start having like more of a regular conversation?
It seems like it because I was not paying attention to the commentary at all. And usually I hear commentary, like I could pick out the fun stuff here and there, but from that commentary I didn't hear a whole lot other than the fact that Regal called Anna JAS and Ty harlots.
Oh, and before he ever got to that point,
will I get canceled if I say this?
He's like, well, I guess I'll find out now. That line, see, that's a perfect example. That was a line that made me laugh. I caught on to it, and you definitely heard that one. But yeah, there's those times where they just start talking as like almost like backstage between the boys kind of thing, like wrestling, and they get a little bit lower. Yeah, I don't know. Then again, it's a little bit different because, you know, sometimes it's Jericho out there, and as Caprice Coleman decided to tell Jericho, inside voice, man.
It's like nobody else is yelling.
I don't have this in my notes, but I do remember this happening this way, so I'm going to say it this way. We had the most awkward intro into a commercial break of all time. Here.
Yeah.
Like, MJF is backstage, something's happening, he's demanding a mic. Commercial.
Yeah, they didn't even really get to be like, MJF might be coming out next or anything. It's just, he's taking a microphone and he's in the back.
Like, he introed it in a way where you think you're about to, like, usually when they cut backstage when there's a random brawl that started or something. Like, I really thought they were going to do a cut. And they made a cut. It just wasn't MJF.
Yeah.
But it's okay. That means, well, everything that happened next that started with MJF was long enough to be a whole segment, so it made sense to wait, or it could fill up from commercial to commercial, which it probably did, because that next part was long. How long was it, David?
You know how long that segment was.
Which also makes sense why MJF came out to the ring and he was like, cut my music. Because he had points to get to.
Music. Cut my music. I gotta talk a lot. A whole lot.
So there were some good points to what MJF said, but at some point during the middle of this, I feel like he took over for, hey, I'm cutting a promo on Mox, so I'm gonna do a promo like Mox. Because at one point, I quit taking notes because it was a lot of talking and didn't feel like he was saying much. But that was a little bit later. It talks about last time.
I don't know. The Mox impersonation was really good. Starts doing that ridiculous walk thing that Mox does.
He said he hasn't slept since he went toe to toe with Mox last week. That Mox had no fear in his eyes and it pisses him off. MJF isn't the same kid that the last time that they crossed. Eventually, he ends up bringing up. I don't remember how he got there. You might, so let me know. But he brings up driving Mox to, stuff in business. Oh, he talks about he's like everybody else there. He's probably got bullied. He's probably still a bully underneath, and that's why it drives him to having a drink and his alcoholism. But he did give him credit for his recovery. He wasn't a complete asshole. Just 99%.
Yeah. Yeah, that takes guts beating a disease and all that. And it's like, oh, okay. That's what's up.
Yeah.
But then he just was like, everyone's in my way, and you don't want to be in my way because I get what I want.
Yeah. It's funny because right there is when he goes, and this isn't a message just for Moxley because the whole promo prior to that was Moxley after Moxley just won. He makes one line saying, this is for Mox, Jericho, and Danielson, basically all the people that are left. And that's the only time he mentions the other ones again, because after that, after he talks about bad things happening, people get in his way, it's right back to Mox.
Yep. He clearly wants him some Mox.
Yeah, he went on about Mox again for a short little time before we finally get to the point where we're gonna start to have answers. He starts to introduce his best friend, a guy that he's known since he was 19 years old, blah, blah, blah. And says it's the first stable arm retainer led by his best friend, Stokely Hathaway, and the Firm.
I love it.
You said you like their music too, right?
Staple. Yeah, I like the song. It's pretty cool.
Your best friend, Ethan Page, is in there?
Hey. Yeah, he's my best friend.
You hated him so much with Men of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me and Ethan Page are cool now. We patch things up.
Like, I'm not saying I expect you to all of a sudden be like, oh yeah, this group, Ethan Page is so much better, but I'm like, yeah, you can already see a big difference from Men of the Year to this.
Yeah, it's night and day.
Now, with that being said, would you like to take... Stokely talked quite a bit before he got to the part that I took notes on, so there's probably a good chance that you have things that you like about this more.
So I didn't take a ton of notes on it because he was talking a lot. So I just wanted to get the main points out of it. But I like the one where he was just talking about how, what his power is, how he, makes friends with everyone. He's friends with everybody in the back. He watched reruns of Living Color with the House of Black. I love that.
Yeah, because that's what he was like. I'm going to admit to something for the first time on TV. I'm not a
In Living
publicist.
Color. Yeah. But yeah,
I'm
he's a
not an
friend.
assistant. I'm a friend with power and connections. Y'all wish you had a friend like me? Yes, I do.
Yeah. Stokely, man. I don't know why, but I love seeing Stokely, the leader of a stable. I mean, he says, they're not going to be working together constantly. They're just like on retainer.
Wait, they were working together all the time. They're just not always working with MJF.
Okay, I got it now. Okay.
But I do think there is some single aspect to it because of the fact, like, later on when we saw Ethan, he was by himself. So, like, they do stuff solo.
And he didn't need help attacking a pizza man.
Now, I do have to ask, when Stokely starts to go over what everybody in the group wants, was the first one, like, the best thing for you?
Yeah. It was definitely the best. Stokely just goes over to Morrissey, fucking giant, and he just says, he just wants to do whatever he wants. And I love you.
Love you, man.
And then he's like, tell me you love me.
Like, he
and
says
then he gives him his, and then he hugs him around the waist like a little kid.
He hugs him forever. Morrissey doesn't even react to it, like, at all. He's like, love you, man. And then Stokely goes to walk away at first, says, love you, man. And then he's still not reacting. So, like, Stokely takes a step back. He's like, I said, I love you, man. Until, like, Morrissey mouths it back to him because nobody else got on the mic during this.
Yeah.
He finally says it back. He moves on. He says,
He had to get his love back.
Moriarty is going to bring back honor to the Pure Championship. The Gun Club pause to let the Ass Boy chant start. He says they're not boys, they're men. But yeah, they want the tag team titles. And they get to Ethan Page. And he knows what Ethan Page wants. Because even within this group, I do know that Ethan Page and MJF have ran in the past together. So that is a group of friends. It makes all sense. He says he wants to represent Canada, his former home, because he's since moved to America for work purposes. He wants to represent Canada and become All-Atlantic champion.
Yeah.
I do think Stokely had, I mean, I don't want to say it was cliche. It kind of feels that way, but it kind of isn't. It made all the sense in the world. That closing line was solid. Nothing.
What was his closing line?
They're the firm, and you're going to either run with them or run from them.
Okay.
Or it was phrased slightly different, but that was the idea. It was like, you can run with them or you better run away from us. So I'm like, it's a little bit cliche, but it's a very sensible line that makes sense. It's not over the top cliche.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've heard something along those lines before.
Stokely. Little Stokely leading a faction.
I was wondering if he was going to say, I'm not an assistant, I'm not a publicist, if he was going to finally say, like, I'm a wrestler.
I was like, is he really going to say he's a wrestler? Is that, because I thought he wasn't a wrestler.
I think him and MJF were a legitimate tag team from back in the day.
Oh, really? Okay.
He just might have not been, who knows what happened. Maybe he had an injury and he got into just taking up more of the talking side of things. I'm assuming it can't, if it was an injury kind of situation for him or something, maybe just transition into manager, because if it was an injury kind of situation, if it was head or neck related, Chris Statlander wasn't running down the ramp and smack him in the back of the head.
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause, man. That's like one of my hits of the year.
Next we had a video package from earlier in the day where Jungle Boy basically says, because what happened at All Out, he hasn't wrestled in a while, so he's issuing an open challenge. We cut over to Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, that group, and they basically, except for Jay Lethal, because he doesn't really say a word till the very end, it's all Little Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Who also had a really good closing fucking line.
I love it.
It was good.
Sanjay, that's so great. He just says Jungle Boy is a boy and Jay Lethal is a man. My best friend is a man.
Mm-hmm. His high pitched like scream right at the end. Just
He's
the
a
way
man.
He does it.
He's a man.
That would have been great if they.
And then during their entrance, when they're coming out to the ring, Sanjay Dutt is screaming, "He's a little boy! He's a little boy!"
That at the end of the video promo part segment thing, though, just way as we're describing it in my head, I just wanted to start playing William Regal's old music from like 2000 WWF. He's a man's man, or he's real man, or whatever it was. It might have been during house show, it might have been on a real show, but at one point Danielson played it to rib him and made him laugh. No, that was still back in WWE. That's what that was. But yep, next we got that match. It's Jay Lethal, really good wrestler. Jungle Boy, he's getting there, but he can do lots of fun things.
So yeah, with Jay Lethal in it, you can maximize the Jungle Boy.
Mm-hmm.
With him facing Jay Lethal. That's what this match was for.
Because Jungle Boy slowly but surely is getting better with the personality stuff, both talking wise and somewhat in the ring kind of action.
Mm-hmm.
I know at one point he countered the lethal injection and he went for Christian Cage's kill switch, which was countered by Jay Lethal again by the lethal combination.
Yeah.
That was a fun little back and forth.
My boy Lethal.
But
he made him look good. So Jay Lethal hits this nasty looking backbreaker off the top turnbuckle on Jungle Boy. And it started him leaning into the whole Jungle Boy's back, not being 100% his back.
After a
Still
Luchasaurus
getting messed up by Luchasaurus.
As if all the tape on his back wasn't an indication.
Yeah. But yeah, that just kind of started it off, and then Lethal kept kind of going for his back from there.
Mm-hmm.
But that backbreaker was cool. That was, you know what? That's my hit of the night. I like that backbreaker.
Now I need you to talk about it, because now I have the graphic up. Describe the backbreaker for me.
So, as I was saying here, Jay Lethal, he picks up Jungle Boy. He takes him in his arms, kind of like how you would take a Simba. And he takes him in his arms. He takes him to the turnbuckle. And he drops him as hard as he can on the turnbuckle. And Jungle Boy sold it really well, because it looked like it really hurt.
But towards the end, a little bit later, definitely work on back for a while. It's funny because once you mentioned Simba, the baby mountain lion looking cat fucking came into the room. But Jay Lethal was going for a figure four, and Jungle Boy countered that, and he was going for a snare trap. He just had to beat the crap out of Jay Lethal's back of his head first for a minute, but got the snare trap for the win.
Snare trap win. I'm surprised there wasn't more interference in this match because I think Sanjay Dutt didn't really do anything, did he?
He did at the end because you got to see his pencil go flying, and you were so disappointed.
Right. Yeah, he did lose his pencil. I forgot.
Honestly, I thought they were going to do that spot again because Jay Lethal rolled him up with the Okada roll. I remember Lethal did that a few weeks back to somebody, and he used the tights to get the win. Mm-hmm. I was watching when he rolled him up. I was like, is he going to grab the tights? But he didn't.
No, yeah, just he tapped.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen Jay Lethal tap. I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot of Jay Lethal, but yeah.
Slowly we're getting more and more. Next we had that Hook Action Bronson video package, which was basically a training montage before Action Bronson says, next week, Daddy Magic and Cool Hand, be ready. We're going to whoop the masses.
Yeah.
Hook
Action
said
Bronson in action again. Oh yeah, Hook did say an entire line. So there was a thing.
It was like, see you next week or something. It was something quick and ending. I know from watching online, I have seen a few different people pop over this next bit. They're from like New York, so they're very familiar with Luigi Primo. But yeah. Marvez is like, we're in New York. We have to see about New York pizza.
What his name was
Luigi Primo.
I'd seen him on TikTok before. Just in the ring, twirling pizzas and stuff.
In the ring?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea. Like, is this restaurant like a wrestling ring or something? There's an actual wrestler.
Yeah, there's a pizza guy wrestler. He like makes pizza while wrestling. I've seen it on TikTok. TikTok has weird wrestling stuff. So, that's how I found Kid Bandit.
Yep, I'm all over that trade now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm on YouTube follow, Twitter follow, Instagram follow.
Yeah.
For a number of them, but not all of them have like YouTubes. All of them, of course, have like Twitters and Instagrams though. Yeah, but this didn't last long because they bring him in and instantly kicked in the face by Ethan Page. Marvez is like, what? He's like, I'm doing what nobody else around here is doing. I'm taking this seriously. And that's when you're taking it seriously and Danhausen comes into the screen.
This is the kind of appearance that I like from Danhausen.
And the thing is I know that they're really good friends. So this just it was so perfect because he walks up, he calls him Egon and everything. So it's like watching their YouTube and the toy hunts come to life, but on TV. But now I'm going to see Danhausen get murdered on Friday night.
He's going to get smoked.
Hey, at least yesterday I got to watch Danhausen get a win on Dark. That was fun. But yeah, he says he's taking it seriously. Danhausen walks in, he mentions his win on Dark. Paige says congrats. But he says if he wants to be the king of the Atlantic on Friday, he should start with the jester of the Atlantic. And he walks off. Yeah. Danhausen's like, yeah, we'll get that jester. And then you just see his face pop. He's like, oh, shit.
He doesn't. He's like, you better hope that curse is extra strong on Friday, Danhausen.
Then we had.
You better hope that curse is extra strong.
But then we got what you thought was a commercial because it was a Darby video package for him doing stunts at Nitro Circus, just flinging himself into walls and doing flips.
Yeah, I was in the kitchen making a sandwich.
Yeah, for that commercial.
Mm-hmm.
After it was just a Matt Hardy promo talking about Darby being extreme, and now him and Jeff a while back raised it up, and Hardy's trying to rebuild himself, so he challenges Darby. So they're gonna have a match soon.
Oh. That seems like a Rampage kind of thing.
I have 4 Rampage, so that would make all the sense in the world. But I know later they were running down the match card for next week at Grand Slam, and there was so much.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that seems more like a Rampage kind of thing. Because Matt Hardy's, it's a little tough to watch him in the ring now.
You want to know what's a little tough? You know what's a little bit tough? Hearing my favorite theme music, or at least one of them, get changed. It's not really as good because Powerhouse Hobbs' music is not the same. The intro is deeper, it's slower.
Yeah, I'm cool as long as there's the Powerhouse. But yeah, I like the other one better.
So this one instantly drops down to number 3 in the Hobbs music list because you had the Willpower version, which is still gonna be above it for me because it's the same song, just slightly different.
Yeah.
Powerhouse. Faced somebody named Matt. He won with the Spine Buster. It was over quick.
Squash.
Grabs the mic. Instantly met with the "We Want Ricky" chants. Says all out, he beat Ricky Starks. He knows how tough Ricky is because they were in the trenches together for so long, but also beat him, what was it, 4 minutes and 23 seconds? 22?
Something like that.
But yeah.
4 minutes and 20 some seconds, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He beat him quick.
Oh yeah.
Unexpectedly quick for me. So I was hoping this was going to be the long drawn out story match, but there's going to be more.
Oh yeah, because now I will say the next part he transitioned right into what seems like it's going to be his phrase pretty easily, because he says, "And now we close the book on Starks. We can open the book of Hobbs." And that's when fans are starting to react because Ricky's walking down through the crowd, down the stairs, all the way ringside, looking like Rock in 1997. All over again. 1998, probably.
Yeah. Comes out of the crowd.
Jukes the shit out of the
just
security
walking
guards.
Real slow. Yeah. He walks up real slow, calm. Well, he looks pissed, but he walks calmly. Makes them think he's not going to try and do anything, and then he just...
They exchange punches.
Like, I'm in there.
For a quick second, but then Starks hit him with the mic, and Hobbs rolled out. And then commentary stupidly said Starks busted over at Hobbs' lips, even though when Hobbs was doing his promo, we could see that his lip was already busted.
Yeah, Hobbs' lip was busted during his promo. And they said that Ricky did that. Okay.
Yeah. We have Lucha Bros video up next. They are Death Triangle. No one can deny their momentum. And we're getting Lucha Bros versus Swerve in Our Glory. Next.
Yeah, they coming for them belts.
God, I don't have this. We talked about before, especially with these Lucha Bros. And then you had Swerve with that speed. There's not much you're doing for notes.
This was definitely one I wasn't trying to take a bunch of notes on here.
I have nothing until Phoenix hit a top rope Spanish fly on Swerve, and then Penta ran over and hit a fucking destroyer on Keith Lee.
That was dope. Can I have 2 hits of the night?
You can do it because I was debating on whether or not to make mine, but there's something that happens later that's up our alley, but it's up there.
Yeah, because that was dope.
Keith Lee.
Watching Keith Lee get hit with a destroyer.
Big boy trying to do backflips.
That shit's nuts. So athletic. Another spot in that match that I liked was when Penta's going for the pin on Swerve, and Ray Phoenix dives onto Keith Lee to the outside. And as Penta's going for the pin, Keith Lee's catching Rey Fenix, and then he throws him back into the ring to break up the pin.
And they go back to it later because, again, when Phoenix tries to jump at Lee, he catches him again, and everyone's just like, really? Why do you keep jumping at Keith Lee? It's not working out for you. But Lee ends up pinning Penta after that. They didn't call it by a name. I don't know what they're calling it here, but it went from like the fireman's carry into like the power slam that he does.
Yeah.
And he pinned Penta, but the Acclaimed music comes on.
What?
Now Max cuts his own music too.
The Acclaimed.
He still says the yo, listen, and everything else. But he never raps, and he just says, Swerve, if you ever interrupts my rap again, he'll beat his ass. Just straight to the point. I'm gonna beat your ass. There was a lot of trash talk. There wasn't really much of a rap. Like his raps, obviously for a number of reasons, have better lines.
Yeah. Yeah, he got straight to the point this time. Like the first time you hear him going serious ever. Because he was just basically like, yeah, I'm gonna beat you guys up.
He told Swerve, well, he mentioned him nut hugging on Famous Friends they had, but they told Swerve to roll Keith Lee's ass to Grand Slam. So, and then Bones got the mic. I just remember the Bowens line saying they look like some Drake so and dumb. Josh looking asses.
Yeah. Said they look like Drake and Josh.
It took me a second to catch on to it because I forgot about how big Josh was in the beginning of the show.
Yeah. Yeah, it took me a while because I was like, what? Why did they look like Drake and Josh?
Yeah. I forgot like how big
and then I was like, oh yeah, Josh was real big in the beginning. Took me a second, but all right, Bones.
Yeah. They're gonna take the titles because everyone loves the Acclaimed. And then Alex Marvez, like an asshole, wants to catch the Lucha Bros right after they lost the tag team title match. That didn't work out for him.
Yeah, Lucha Bros keep walking away.
Pac stops, though.
Yeah, Pac stops. And he's just like, why are you, basically like, you're disrespecting us. I'm the All-Atlantic champion.
Inaugural. He's the first double champion.
And then he gets his ass whooped for talking all that shit.
I will say, they filmed that in a way that it was both awkward, but also a legitimate surprise. Because Orange Cassidy hits an orange punch from behind where the camera's at. So all you see for a second is a fist come out of the corner of the screen and punch Pac in the face. That is it. In my head, considering what happened earlier, I thought it might have been Ethan Page again.
Dog. I don't know. All I know is that I'm always happy to see people get attacked out of nowhere. It's like one of my favorite things that can happen. So, and it happened more than once tonight. I love it. He attacked the pizza dude.
But basically just grabs the mic, he says, double champion. Not for long. Drops the mic. That's the end of that.
Yeah.
Now, this is where I can kind of see there was a pattern to tonight's show. And I don't know how much of it dealt with the suspensions and trying to figure it out, some things on the fly, because this was another example of having a video package promoting the match that was happening immediately after it. But in some ways, it kind of makes it feel like a pay-per-view, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because next we got the Tony Storm and Athena video hyping up their tag match, talk about Tony referencing how Britt took out Sheeta. They got Athena, but who the fuck does Britt have? Because, Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, and Athena's had an apple a day to keep the DMD away, so she's good.
It was both good and so ridiculously cheesy.
Yeah.
corny. I'm like, I don't know if I hate it or if I like it.
Hey, she had an apple a day to keep
She
the
has an
DMD away.
apple every day.
Yeah, and it keeps the DMD away. But it didn't keep the DMD away tonight.
I love 3 out of the 4 people in this. Well, I love 2 out of the 4 people in this next match, and I really, really like another one. I need to see Athena, like, personality wise, and just become a bigger star, because I was kind of rooting for her. In fact, everybody else I knew in different discords wanted Toni Storm to be the next debut when there was a mystery opponent thing. Everyone wanted Toni, and I was like, give me Athena. I'm like, we don't know what she can become. And so far, it's like,
she's gonna need some screen time, but if you're not Britt or Jade, you don't get time to talk if you're a woman in AEW.
now I would say it would be cool to see her get to some meatier things, so where she has a chance to drop better lines, kind of like how Britt has had a chance to drop some really good lines. But Britt and Ruby had an amazing back and forth promo when Ruby first got there. So it's like, all right, you gotta find a way somehow on your own, like, get that star power up. Like, I'm rooting for you.
Give her some time, AEW.
I was actually
some screen time.
very happy because you had 4 legitimately good wrestlers in this match tonight in the women's division, and they gave this match a lot of time. We had that one move where Athena had Debo up on her shoulders, kind of like the Razor's Edge Dominator situation, where she threw her off this way and got her knees out, and she landed on her knees. That was lovely.
That was heavenly.
But
dude, Deep countered everything for a while there. That was just throw a move, countered.
Yeah, and it felt like in some ways it wasn't enough still, because I was sitting there watching so often that she'd get into like striking battles with everybody. I'm like, you're supposed to out wrestle everybody. What are you trying to do? But I love them all. Besides Toni.
Have some striky times. Gotta have them striky times.
Rebel ends up distracting the ref. DMD holds a chair in the corner, and Deeb is able to shove Toni Storm into it and get the win. Athena doing kind of the heel thing and laying out Deeb and Britt after the match. Didn't last long because she ended up getting a stomp from Britt.
Yeah, numbers game, of course, came back to get her.
Oh, it got worse shortly after.
Yeah, because Jamie Hayter comes running down with a chair.
No. Rebel tried to give Britt the chair again to use on Toni.
She did.
Jamie came out and grabbed the chair from Britt, and then still smacked Toni with it. But then her and Britt got into it, and Jamie left, and there was noticeably Jamie Hayter chants as she left.
Mm-hmm. The crowd likes them some Jamie Hayter.
I like me some Jamie Hayter. I got to see 3 people I love in this. One I like a lot, and one that can go the fuck away. She just happens to be holding the Throne Championship at the moment.
She's not going anywhere, man. You're here.
She talked in that video package probably more than she has the rest of her time in AEW.
Yeah. Well, get used to it. She's going to be talking a whole lot.
Next,
well, more than usual.
Next up, we got another video package, and this one was Mark Sterling hyping up Josh Woods on the Samoa Joe match. I don't know a whole lot about Josh Woods, but considering his background and how he's built and what Samoa Joe is, that could be some beefy boy fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun match. I don't know, like Josh Woods is supposed to be real technical,
Joe
So
was formerly known as the Samoan Submission Machine, was his nickname for so many years.
So yeah, the back and forth should be cool.
I might have just said that in case certain people were still in the chat. Beefy boy fun. Now, this wasn't Beefy boy fun, but next we had the Jericho and Danielson match, which is why when you asked about doing a second hardest hit of the night, I was like, sure, because it kind of eliminates me having to debate on what I was going to use for mine, because that one got to be mentioned. Because mine,
that orange punch out of nowhere was your second one.
No, my second one is the amount of chops and how fucking red Chris Jericho's chest was by the end of this match. There's so many chops.
Oh yeah, I mean, it looked like there was some kind of legitimate injury because his titty was purple.
And
like, Jericho had purple titty.
To explain,
and it looked like something was torn or something.
For those who saw the Cody Rhodes torn pec picture from Hell in a Cell,
it wasn't that bad, but
the discoloring in that area was similar, and it was on the outside of the pec, like as if he tore it over there, away from where chops would be.
Back and forth wherever.
Yeah, but yeah, they beat the hell out of each other. And that was throughout the whole match. That's why I was like, I'm just starting right off with these chops here.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty. Dude. Danielson sells so well, man. That spot when he gets when Jericho throws him outside the ring.
The suplex?
And he hurts, the suplex outside the ring, and he hurts his ankle. Like, he plays that so well because you think he's actually hurt. Because it's like, is that legit? Is he actually hurt this time?
I hate to say it because this is going to sound mean or kind of weird, I guess. As opposed to normal selling like they're in pain, he almost looked like he was screaming in agony, about to break down in like tears kind of thing. It was like that kind of selling for that kind of pain for the attack on the foot stuff after. At one point, Jericho's back in his Jericho Appreciation Society gear, so it wasn't the Lionheart, and kind of helped made this match a little bit easier to predict. But he was back to sports entertaining. At one point, he hit a code breaker on Danielson. Danielson popped off of it, not like the momentum, into the corner, bounced off the corner, and hit his Bazaico knee. But yeah, that still didn't get the win. Once that suplex to the outside happened, Jericho just exclusively attacked the leg from like the knee down, including a figure four around the ring post, spinning toe holds in the ring, walls of Jericho into a single leg crab, and then almost into like a calf crusher. He was working that leg forever. And then that figure four, that was his doing. That was the doing. Because they did the whole thing where they sat up and they started slugging with each other. And you gave things for Danielson to grab onto, which submission, technical wrestler, you want to give them as little of your body to be able to try and grab and gain control over. Because once they got close, he rolled that shit over into a label lock and got the submission win. Jericho tapped out with his sports entertaining ass. It is worth noting that at some point during this match, they did show that Daniel Garcia was backstage watching it closely. He was backstage like, yes, good job, guys. And after the match, the first thing they did was show Garcia kind of like, yeah, look at that, like happy. Like, my idols, they actually fought without cheating. And once we got done with that, that's when Mox came out to the ring, and it was kind of like celebratory because it was a BCC thing. But they got in the ring, had a face off, shook hands, and that was the end of the show.
Yeah. Next week, Mox versus Danielson.
So over under.
Over under. How many times will Danielson lose?
No, I was gonna go 3.5 minutes. 3.5 minutes. When does Moxley bleed?
Oh. So you're giving me 3.5 minutes?
I'm like, it's Moxley, so I feel like the number should be low on how fast he'll bleed into a match.
Yeah. 3.5 minutes. Yeah.
I feel like
He's bled faster than that.
I'm like, it's very easy to say over because of the fact that it is so quickly into the match.
Yeah.
But it is Mox.
I'm going to take the over, but I don't feel good.
That's why I had that pause. I was trying to figure out, like, what the fuck do I set like this number at in this situation?
Yeah, I'll take the over, but I don't feel good on it.
I'm like, if I went up to like 8.5 minutes, then I would feel like...
I'm not taking that bet. Fuck no.
I'd be like under on that one. I feel anywhere between 3.5 and like 5.5, that's where it gets risky.
Yeah, because he bleeds first thing. Like, he's like a fucking rooster in the morning. Like cock-a-doodle-doo.
We have seen him bleed quicker into a match than the amount of time it took him to get to the ring for the match.
Yep. Oh, he's gonna bleed, all right.
I think there was a certain movie title back in the day that very much can predict what the main event of next week's Dynamite's gonna be like. That movie we call There Will Be Blood.
There will be blood. There will be blood.